Okay, today we are cutting out a key shape out of 10 mil coroplast. This is for a job for one of our real estate clients, and they like to have their just sold gifts that they give to customers, and it's in a key shape. We're going to do that on the CNC, so we're going to use Vectric to design this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to our Vectric. You'll see we've got several windows that are already open, but I'm going to just right click on it, click on Vectric, and this is going to open up a brand new window for us. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new file. So come in here, we can create this new file. It's going to ask us what size our material is. Now we've already measured and mic'd the material that we're working with. It's a 10 mil coroplast, which is 0.4 inches thick. The piece we have is a drop, so it's 24 inches tall by 48 inches wide. If you look over on the CNC, it's actually what's sitting on it. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK on our material size, and that's going to set up our material window. From here, we want to import our file and find the particular order number. This one, this order, search for it under first integrity. 5936 is this order number, so come back to here. 5936 under the farm, under our CB orders, under 5936, you'll see that our design department has put in a CNC folder. Within the CNC folder is going to be our file. Looking for that AI file, the vector file. I'm going to go ahead and click open on that, and that's the shape we want to cut. So we're going to take this shape, single click on it. You can see how it outlines itself. That tells us we're able to move it, so I can just kind of move it to a more comfortable position. We could go as tight if we want. We can come all the way down to the edges of the material. Being that we're only cutting one of these, excuse me, I'm going to make it a little bit more comfortable. And if it looks like we have enough material, so I'm actually going to do a control copy, control V. That's going to paste a second one on there. I'm going to come over here to our rotate selected objects. Click on that. I'm going to rotate this guy 180 degrees just to see if I can happen to fit two pieces on this material. Reason being, it's a drop we're cutting with anyway, so if I can fit two on it, might as well in case one of them turns out bad. Doesn't look like I can. You can see how they're crisscrossing, interfacing there, so it doesn't look like I'd be able to cut two, so let's just get back to the one. Okay, so boom, I'm just going to put it in kind of a comfortable position and hit. I'm going to close out this because I no longer want to rotate it. I'm going to come up here to this pin tab. This is going to, you see what it says, switch to toolpath command. If I do this, you'll notice the left side of the screen will disappear, toolpath show up on the right side. If I want to go backwards, I can come up to here where it says switch to design command, and that will take me back to the design side of things. But I'm going to go to my toolpaths. Now, I'm cutting 10 mil coroplast. I happen to know, now if you're a new user, you may not know what tooling, what feeds, what speeds, etc. That's part of the education, it's part of knowledge. But for the time being, I happen to know that 10 mil coroplast cuts fairly nice with what's called an 1/8 inch O flute. So it's a single flute upcut. The speed is going to be about 18,000 RPMs as far as the speed is concerned. The feed is going to be about 85 inches per minute. So I'm going to click on our profile. This is our profile toolpath here. Excuse me. My Amana flute 1/8 inch acrylic is already selected. I can come over here, go to our toolpath database, and you'll see all of our different tooling in here. So this is the O flute 1/8 inch. You'll see right here where it says 1/8 inch diameter, 1/2 inch DOC, depth of cut, 1/4 inch shank. The shank is the size of the collet that it's in. You'll see our speed spindle rate, or our speed, is at 18,000 RPM. Our feed rate's at 80, our plunge rate's at 50. So again, I happen to know those are good settings for this particular tooling. Now, it's set up as 3 passes because ideally, actually, let me change this real quick. Our material is 0.4 inches, we know that. We like to cut 5/1000ths of an inch through the material if we're doing a complete cutout. So I'm going to change my cut depth to 0.405. That's 5/1000ths of an inch. You'll see what happens here. It's now going to attempt to do this in 7 passes. If this was wood or acrylic, I would absolutely want it to take 7 passes because those are dense, heavy materials. And trying to take a 1/8 inch end mill and cut through a 1/2 inch of material in 1 pass is going to break an end mill. So, but this happens to be coroplast, a very light, aired, fluted plastic. So I'm going to edit these passes. And I'm going to bring ourselves just down to one pass because I want to do this whole thing in just one pass. Set passes, hit OK, and now you'll see up here I'm at one pass. We want to cut on the outside of the material. We have options. We can cut on the outside. We can cut on the inside of it. We can cut on the line itself. So just different uses. I want this shape as my positive. If I was cutting a template, I'd want the shape as my negative, so I might cut an inside shape. Climb is your normal cut, but one thing we've discovered is on plastics and foams like this, a conventional cut tends to leave us with a little bit better finish. If this was acrylic or wood, we'd be on a climb, or with the foams and plastics, conventional cut tends to be a little bit better. That's a clockwise cut versus a counterclockwise cut. Don't need to ramp. Traditionally, same thing. If we were on acrylic or wood, we'd add a ramp to the toolpath. Makes that end mill go in nice and smooth instead of just plunging straight down into it. Again, we're dealing with a soft plastic. It's not going to be a big deal. So I'm going to rename our file. This is our cut as a key cutout. I'm going to calculate the path. It's going to give me a warning. Hey, you're going to cut through your material. Are you okay with that? Yes, we know we're cutting through it. Catch the frame. So we want to make sure we're okay. Get okay on that. We're going to go and close that out. I'm going to pause it real quick. So the very last thing we want to do is, now that we've got our tool path selected, this is a fairly simple cut, and you can see if I zoom in here, it's actually showing us where the cut's going to go. Okay, so suddenly we're going counterclockwise again. Not sure what happened. Let's go back and edit our tool path. You'll see where the conventional outside. Conventional should be an outside cut here, but we're going counterclockwise, so not quite sure why it's showing us that. Software's smarter than I am, so maybe that's backwards. Let's see, climb, conventional. Not sure. Regardless, we're going to calculate that. Yes. Go ahead and close that out. Now again, this is a fairly simple cut, but in case we want to check it out, we should always take a look to see what our cut's doing. Make sure we didn't make a mistake. So we can come to this icon here. This is our preview icon. We click on that. It's going to bring up our board. We only have one tool path, so we've got it selected. If we had 5 tool paths or 12 tool paths, we could select which ones we're going to preview. We're going to go and preview this particular tool path. Boom. It's going to show us, bam, there's our cut. We can double click to get rid of excess materials, make sure that's what finished piece we're looking for. We can actually look at this finished piece in dimension to see, is this exactly what we were going for?
Are you holding the left button?
Nope, just left click. Left click, and allows me to kind of rotate it around. And then if I want to bring myself back to center, wherever it is, usually that does it. I don't know what these buttons do. So I'm going to go and reset my preview. Close that out. Oh, here it is. This is what I'm looking for. There they are. This will give us our different perspectives. So it's just going to give us back to the flat perspective. These are our zoom bars. So click on that toolpath again. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Save toolpath. Our order number for this order is 6127. So CB orders 6127. This is our CNC folder for this cut file. Boom. And we're going to call this file 6127-01 underscore CNC underscore key cutout. Hit save, and our file's saved. That's how you set up a basic cut.